Every morning before the world speaks to you, your mind is already listening. Question is, who are you letting speak first? You're waking up with dreams in your heart, but doubts in your head. You want clarity, you want peace, you want success without losing your soul. I've met students with talent and no direction, professionals with success and no joy, and young hearts asking one simple question: how do I build my mind before the world breaks it? Let me share 7 lessons, not theory, not motivation for one day, but principles to practice every morning. Every morning before your feet touch the floor, your mind has already chosen a direction, not consciously, but quietly. And that direction decides the quality of your entire day. Most people wake up rushed, alarm ringing, notifications buzzing, thoughts racing. What do I need to do? What did I miss? What could go wrong today? And without realizing it, anxiety becomes the first voice they listen to. But let me share something simple and deeply transformative. How you begin your morning is how you teach your mind to see life. I once met a young professional who told me, I have everything I prayed for, but I still wake up restless. Good job, good health, good family. Yet peace was missing, not because life was lacking, but because gratitude was absent. You see, gratitude is not pretending everything is perfect. Gratitude is recognizing that even in imperfection, something is still precious. When you wake up and your first thought is stress, your mind goes into survival mode. But when your first thought is gratitude, your mind shifts into abundance. And abundance doesn't mean having more, it means seeing more. Every morning, God gives you a gift that millions didn't receive. Another day, another chance, another breath. We treat that gift casually. We rush past it like it's guaranteed. But nothing about life is guaranteed. The breath you just took, that's grace. The ability to stand up, to think, to try again, that's mercy. Gratitude grounds the mind. It slows you down just enough to remind you, I am alive. And that matters. Think about it. When you are grateful, comparison loses its grip. Jealousy becomes quiet. Complaints fade. Because a grateful mind cannot be a noisy mind. I've seen people with very little wake up smiling, and I've seen people with everything wake up bitter. The difference was never circumstances, it was perspective. Gratitude is a discipline, not a mood. You don't wait to feel grateful. You choose to be grateful even on hard mornings, especially on hard mornings. Because gratitude doesn't deny pain. It gives pain context. It says, this is difficult, but I am still supported. This is uncertain, but I am still guided. When you wake up and say, even quietly, thank you for this life, something shifts inside. Your shoulders relax, your breathing softens, your mind stops fighting reality. And here is the hidden power of gratitude. It prepares you to receive more, not more things, more clarity, more patience, more wisdom. A mind trained in gratitude doesn't crumble easily because it knows how to look for light even when clouds appear. Start small, don't make it complicated. Before you reach for your phone, reach inward. Before you scroll, pause. Thank God for one thing, just one: your health, your parents, your education, your ability to dream. That single moment rewires your mind, and over time those moments stack day by day, morning by morning. You begin to notice beauty you used to overlook, people you used to ignore, blessings you used to assume. Gratitude teaches humility. It reminds you that life is not earned, it is entrusted. And when you live with that awareness, you walk softer, work harder, and judge less. So if you want to build your mind every morning, don't start with pressure, start with presence. Don't ask, what do I need to conquer today? Ask, what have I already been given? Because when gratitude leads, anxiety follows quietly behind, and a grateful mind is a strong mind. Most of us are surrounded by noise from the moment we wake up. Phones vibrating, messages waiting, news shouting, opinions demanding attention. Before we even understand how we feel, the world has already told us how to think. And slowly, without realizing it, our inner voice gets buried. I once asked a student why he felt confused about his future. He said, I hear too many voices. Parents, friends, social media, society, everyone was speaking, no one was listening. Silence is misunderstood. We think silence means emptiness, but silence is actually where clarity is formed. Think about nature. A seed grows underground, in darkness and quiet, long before it breaks the surface. A child grows in the silence of the womb before entering the noise of the world. Growth always begins quietly. When your morning starts with noise, your mind starts reacting instead of responding. Reaction is rushed. Response is wise. Silence gives you the space to respond. I remember visiting a monastery early one morning. No phones, no talking, just footsteps and birds. At first, the quiet felt uncomfortable. The mind wanted distraction. But after some time, something surprising happened. Thoughts slowed down, breath became deeper, awareness sharpened. That is the power of silence. It organizes the chaos inside you. Silence is not about escaping responsibilities, it's about preparing yourself to carry them. When you sit quietly, even for a few minutes, you begin to notice your thoughts instead of becoming them. You realize not every thought deserves belief, some are just noise passing through. This awareness builds strength. In silence, you start asking better questions. What truly matters today? What am I avoiding? What is God trying to teach me right now? Answers rarely shout, they whisper, but you can only hear whispers when you're still. Many people say, I don't have time for silence, but silence doesn't steal time, it saves it. 5 minutes of stillness can prevent 5 hours of confusion. When you begin your morning in silence, your day becomes intentional. Your decisions become calmer. Your reactions become softer. Silence creates alignment between what you believe and how you live, between who you are and who you are becoming. It's not about sitting perfectly or thinking nothing. It's about showing up. Sit, breathe, be present. Let your mind settle like muddy water in a glass. Given time, clarity rises naturally. Prayer, meditation, reflection, these are not rituals, they are relationships. Moments where you stop talking and start listening. And in that listening, you realize something powerful. You are not alone, you are guided. Silence reminds you that life is not a race, it's a rhythm. And every rhythm needs pauses. Even music needs rest between notes. Without them, there is only noise. Your life is the same. If you fill every moment with sound, movement, and distraction, you lose meaning. But when you honor silence, you gain depth. Start your morning without urgency, even if it's just 2 minutes. No phone, no agenda, just awareness. Let silence sharpen your focus before the world tests it. Let it strengthen your faith before doubt appears. Silence won't give you all the answers, but it will give you the right questions. And the person who asks the right questions never stays lost for long. Every morning there is a quiet negotiation that happens inside you. The alarm rings, the body wants comfort, the mind looks for excuses. Just 5 more minutes. Just today, I'll skip it. I'll start tomorrow. And in that small moment, a habit is either strengthened or broken. People often think discipline is harsh. They imagine strict routines and joyless lives, but discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. I once met a student who said, I know what I should do, but I don't feel like doing it. And I told him gently, if you wait for feeling, you will wait forever. Feelings are unpredictable, they come and go like weather. But discipline is a decision, and decisions shape destiny. Look at any meaningful achievement. Strong bodies, focused minds, stable relationships, DEP faith. None of them were built on excitement, they were built on consistency. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's saying no to comfort today so you can say yes to growth tomorrow. Think of a muscle. It doesn't grow when it's comfortable, it grows when it's stretched, challenged, pushed. The mind works the same way. Every time you follow through, even when you don't feel like it, you send a message to yourself, I can be trusted. And that trust becomes confidence. Many people search for motivation from outside, videos, quotes, speeches. But motivation is temporary, it fades by lunchtime. Discipline stays when motivation leaves. I've seen people with less talent outperform those with more talent simply because they showed up daily. Not perfectly, but faithfully. Discipline doesn't demand perfection, it asks for presence. You don't need to do everything, you need to do something consistently. Pray even when the heart feels dry, study even when the mind feels tired, exercise even when the body feels heavy. Not because you enjoy it, but because you respect your future self. Discipline teaches patience. It trains you to delay gratification, to trust the process. And that trust is deeply spiritual. Because faith is not only believing in God, faith is believing that your efforts today matter, even when results are invisible. When you practice discipline, you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, is this aligned with who I want to become? That shift changes everything. Discipline simplifies life. Less drama, less regret, more clarity. It frees you from the chaos of constant decision making. When discipline becomes routine, willpower is no longer needed. The hardest part is starting. After that, momentum takes over. And yes, some days you will fail. You will oversell. You will miss the mark. Discipline is not about never falling, it's about getting back up without self-hate. Grace and discipline must walk together. One without the other becomes harmful. Be firm with your actions. Be gentle with your heart. Every disciplined morning builds a disciplined life. And over time, something beautiful happens. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once required effort becomes identity. You no longer say, I'm trying. You say, this is who I am. A person who shows up, a person who keeps promises, especially to themselves. So when the alarm rings tomorrow morning, remember this, that moment is not small. It is a doorway. Walk through it with discipline, and your future will thank you. Every thought that enters your mind is not a command, it is an invitation. But most people don't realize this. They assume every thought is truth, every fear is a warning, every doubt is reality, and slowly the mind becomes crowded. I once spoke to a young woman who said, my mind never stops, thoughts telling her she wasn't enough, that she was behind, that others were doing better. I asked her one simple question, who told you that every thought deserves your belief? The mind is like a house with many doors. Thoughts knock all day long. Some come with wisdom, some come with fear, some come with old wounds dressed up as logic. You don't have to open every door, but many of us do. We welcome every thought, we offer it a seat, we let it stay, and then we wonder why we feel exhausted. Here is a truth that changes everything. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. That awareness is power. A negative thought may say, you're not good enough, but just because it speaks doesn't mean it's right. Thoughts are shaped by past experiences, environment, and emotions. They are not always aligned with truth, ESP, especially when fear is involved. Fear is loud, faith is quiet, and that's why training the mind matters. Imagine your mind as a stage. Only a few thoughts should be allowed under the spotlight. The rest can sit in the audience or leave entirely. But this takes practice. When a thought appears, pause, observe it, ask, is this helping me grow or is it holding me back? If it's not serving your values, your purpose, or your peace, thank it for visiting and let it go. You don't fight thoughts, you don't suppress them, you simply don't feed them. What you feed grows, what you starve fades. If you constantly replay fear, fear becomes familiar. If you repeatedly choose courage, courage becomes natural. The mind believes what it hears most often. That's why self-talk matters. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. Firm when needed, kind always. Replace I can't with I'm learning. Replace I failed with I'm growing. Replace I'm lost with I'm being guided. This is not denial, this is alignment. Faith teaches us that thoughts can either bring us closer to truth or pull us away from it, and truth is steady, truth is calm, truth does not rush or panic. When your thoughts are chaotic, return to stillness, return to prayer, return to breath, anchor your mind in something higher than emotion. Because emotions change, circumstances change, but values don't. Some days your mind will be heavy, old thoughts will return, doubts will knock again. That doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're human. The goal is not a silent mind. The goal is a trained mind, a mind that knows which thoughts deserve attention and which ones deserve distance. Over time, you notice something powerful. The same thoughts that once controlled you will begin to pass through without staying. You'll feel lighter, clearer, stronger, not because life became easier, but because your relationship with your thoughts became healthier. And this is freedom. Freedom is not the absence of negative thoughts. Freedom is the ability to choose your response. So each morning, remind yourself, I am not every thought I think. I choose what I believe. I choose what I carry forward. When you train your mind this way, peace stops being accidental. It becomes intentional. And a mind that is intentional is a mind that cannot be easily shaken. Most people wake up asking one question: what do I need to get today? And they go to sleep feeling tired, even when they got it. Because there is a quiet truth many discover late in life. A life focused only on itself slowly becomes heavy. I once met a successful entrepreneur, busy schedule, impressive achievements, but when he spoke, there was an emptiness behind his words. He said, I've achieved my goals, but something still feels missing. That missing piece was not money, not recognition. It was meaning. Meaning is born when life moves beyond me. Service is not about losing yourself. It's about finding yourself in something larger. When you serve, something shifts inside. The mind becomes lighter. The heart becomes fuller. Because service realigns your priorities. Think about it. When you help someone else, even in a small way, your own worries take a step back, not because they disappear, but because they stop being the center of the universe. Service reminds you that the world doesn't revolve around your fears, and that realization is incredibly freeing. I've seen people going through deep struggles, loss, stress, uncertainty, yet they find strength when they show up for others, a smile, a listening ear, a small act of kindness. These acts don't drain you, they renew you, because the soul grows through contribution. Service trains humility. It teaches you that your talents are not just for display, They are for impact. Whatever you are good at, it's not an accident. Your skills are tools. Your time is a trust. And when you use them to uplift someone else, life begins to make sense. Service also builds resilience. When you help without expecting applause, you become stronger internally. Your happiness becomes less dependent on validation, less dependent on outcomes. You begin to act from values, not ego, and that is powerful. Service doesn't mean grand gestures, it starts small. Helping at home without being asked, encouraging someone who is struggling, doing your work with sincerity because it serves a purpose beyond a paycheck. Even excellence can be an act of service. When you do your job well, not for praise, but because others depend on it, that builds character. Service brings gratitude full circle. You stop seeing people as obstacles and start seeing them as fellow travelers. Everyone is fighting a battle you can't see. And when you serve, you approach life with compassion instead of competition. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you grounded. There is a deep spiritual truth here. When you serve others, you are serving something divine, because love in action is service. And love is not loud, it is consistent. Some days service will go unnoticed, some days it will be inconvenient, but that's where its strength lies. You don't serve because it's easy, you serve because it's right. Over time, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes less anxious, your heart becomes more patient, your life becomes more meaningful. Not because your problems vanished, but because your purpose expanded. Service protects you from becoming self-absorbed, and self-absorption is one of the biggest sources of suffering. When life feels confusing, serve. When you feel stuck, serve. When you feel lost, serve. Clarity often follows contribution. So every morning, ask a better question. Not just, what do I want today, but who can I help today? That single question can change the tone of your entire day. Because a life that gives never truly feels empty, and a soul that serves is a soul that grows stronger day by day. There are moments in life when things don't make sense. You do the right things, you work hard, you stay sincere, and still doors don't open. In those moments, the mind starts questioning, why me? Why now? Did I do something wrong? I've met many people at this crossroad, talented students facing rejection, good people facing loss, hard-working souls facing delay, and the pain is not just in the struggle, the pain is in not understanding the reason. This is where faith becomes more than a belief, it becomes an anchor. Faith does not promise a smooth journey, it promises a meaningful one. Many people think faith means everything will go their way, but real faith says, even if it doesn't, I will still move forward. There is a difference. Think of a sculptor carving stone. From the stone's perspective, it feels like destruction, cuts, pressure, pieces falling away. But the sculptor sees the statue within. Life often works the same way. What feels like a setback may actually be shaping you for something deeper, stronger, wiser. I once spoke to a young man who lost an opportunity he had worked years for. He was broken. He said, I prayed, I trusted. Why did this happen? Years later, he came back with tears, not of pain, but gratitude. That loss redirected him. It saved him from a path that would have cost him his peace. At the time, it felt unfair. Later, it felt protective. Faith gives struggle context. It doesn't remove the weight, but it gives you a reason to carry it. When you believe that your life is guided, you stop seeing challenges as punishments and start seeing them as preparation. Preparation for patience, preparation for humility, preparation for purpose. Some lessons cannot be learned in comfort, they require friction. And faith says, This is not wasted. Delay does not mean denial. Silence does not mean abandonment. Sometimes God is quiet because you are being taught to listen differently. In struggle, your character is revealed. In ease, it is tested. Anyone can be grateful when things go well, but faith is revealed when you keep showing up, even when the outcome is uncertain. That kind of faith builds inner strength. It teaches you to do your part and release what you cannot control, because control creates anxiety. Trust creates peace. When you trust, you stop obsessing over timelines. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You realize that growth is not a race, it is a process, and every process has stages. Some days you will feel strong, some days you will feel tired. Faith doesn't demand perfection, it invites persistence. To keep walking even when the path is unclear, to keep believing even when the evidence is thin. This is not blind optimism. This is grounded trust. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Trust that what leaves your life is creating space for something better aligned. And sometimes what you ask for is not what you need. Faith accepts that with humility. The struggle you are in today may be building the compassion you'll need tomorrow. The patience you're learning now may save you later. Nothing is random when you live with faith. Every experience is either a blessing or a lesson that becomes a blessing later. So when life feels heavy, don't rush to escape it. Ask instead, what is this teaching me? That question changes pain into purpose. Faith doesn't say, I understand everything. Faith says, I trust even when I don't. And that trust quiets the mind. It steadies the heart. It allows you to move forward without bitterness. You don't grow despite struggle. You grow because of it. And when you look back one day, you'll realize the very moments you thought were breaking you were actually building you. Every day ends the same way, with a quiet question waiting for an answer. Not spoken out loud, but felt. Did I live today the way I wanted to? Most people don't pause long enough to ask it. They fall into bed tired, distracted, already thinking about tomorrow. But the end of the day is not just a closing, it's a mirror. It reflects who you are becoming. I once met a student who was obsessed with big goals, ambitious, driven, always planning the future. But he was unhappy, restless. When I asked him about his daily choices, he smiled and said, I'll fix my habits after I succeed. That's when I realized many people want a destination without honoring the direction. Life doesn't change in leaps, it changes in alignment. Alignment between what you believe and what you practice, between your values and your actions. The end of each day quietly votes on that alignment. You don't become disciplined by wanting discipline. You become disciplined by daily follow through. You don't become peaceful by wishing for peace. You become peaceful by choosing calm responses again and again. Every small choice matters more than dramatic intentions. What you scroll before sleeping, what you replay in your mind, what you forgive, what you carry. These are not neutral habits, they shape your inner world. I've seen people wait for a perfect time to become better, but the perfect time is always now. Not tomorrow morning, not next month, not after things settle down. Change begins with awareness. At the end of the day, ask yourself gently, what did I do today that moved me closer to the person I want to be? Not in judgment, in honesty. Self-awareness is not self-criticism, it is self-respect. When you reflect daily, life stops slipping by unnoticed. You begin to live intentionally. Some days you'll be proud, some days you'll feel disappointed. Both are teachers. Success teaches confidence, failure teaches humility. The key is consistency. When you end your day with alignment, your mornings become lighter. You wake up without regret pulling you backward, and slowly identity shifts. You no longer rely on motivation, you rely on meaning. You begin to trust yourself because you see evidence day after day that you keep your word. And this builds inner stability. No applause required, no validation needed, just quiet confidence. Ending your day aligned doesn't mean perfection, it means sincerity. Did you try to be kind? Did you act with integrity? Did you show up even imperfectly? Those questions matter more than results. Life is not asking you to win every day, it's asking you to be honest every day. Over time, something powerful happens. Your habits shape your character shapes your destiny. Not overnight, but inevitably, the person you are becoming is built in ordinary days, not extraordinary moments, and the end of the day is your checkpoint. A chance to release what didn't serve you, a chance to learn, a chance to realign. Forgive yourself, correct your course, rest with purpose. Because tomorrow doesn't need a perfect version of you, it needs a present one, someone willing to try again. So tonight, before you sleep, pause, breathe. Thank God for the lessons of today, even the uncomfortable ones. And remind yourself, growth is not about speed, it's about direction. W. And you end each day aligned with who you want to become. Life stops feeling random, it starts feeling intentional. And that is how ordinary days create an extraordinary life. Success is not about reaching somewhere, it's about becoming someone. Build your mind, strengthen your heart, and trust the journey God has designed for you. Because when faith guides your steps, even the long road leads home.